So yeah, we got to February 3rd, and this is the first day of the big storm. And as you can see, the temperatures warm up, but the real feel low, while it is about 35 degrees early on in the morning, as you can see, the temperature rises, the winds begin to substantially pick up. Hence, you have real feels that get down to about 39 degrees. Again, I can't switch tabs, so I can't actually calculate the actual real feel. I'm just basing it based off where the lines are. Um, at the end of the day, because and you could also tell how the wind chill is about the same way at 44 degrees with 9 mile an hour winds as it is at 46 degrees with 15 mile an hour winds, because according to at least the NWS, wind chills kind of stop at 50 degrees. And on Friday, you can't see this, even though it does get to 50 degrees. I guess because it's like 50 is a round up. I've seen some say it got to 51. But again, this is a 1 degree difference. I'm not too worried. And as you can see, it says rain. So between the 2 days, you have 0.6 inches of rain. Temperatures hit your high at about 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe a little bit after, with wind chills, again, hovering there. And then the wind slows down as the temperature crashes. As you can see, at 8 a.m., it's still 48 degrees. And and by 9 a.m., it's 40 degrees. And New York City is a bigger crash because they start out in the 50s. So now you have cold rain with crashing temperatures now in the 30s until eventually by 5 p.m. it begins to ice over as the temperatures get to 32, but it still doesn't convert to snow. So now you're in an ice storm, which this storm is very famous for. Then your low gets to 27 degrees by midnight. And into the 5th, it gets down to about 23, warms to about 27, which you have the low at 2 times, and then crashes down to 18 degrees Fahrenheit. On the 6th, it gets down to 15, warms up, gets close to freezing, but still can only hit 30 degrees. Monday, meanwhile, you have some more cold rain. Your low is 27 at midnight, 28 actually, and you have a high of 38 at about 2 p.m., and it barely cools off. But the fact that you have rain still makes it a miserable day, especially because this rain begins at 33 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, heading into February 8th, it actually can warm up a bit. With your low of 35 in the morning, you get to a high of 45, but crashing temperatures to freezing. So you might think that you're in a substantial warm up as temperatures get to 45 degrees, but that's actually really just a fallacy. You are not having any kind of warmer conditions, and your low is going to plummet down to 26 degrees, with real feels getting to about 24 by my eyeballing. But the next day still warms up to 42, so it's still near average. And on February 10th, you actually have a high of 53. So the wind chill breaks even though the wind is above 3 miles an hour. You have a low of 31 degrees too, which is a high temperature difference. Friday, you have a high of 54 degrees. I've seen a lot of sources say 55 degrees though, so I'm skeptical to initially believe it only got to this temperature. This happened in the afternoon like the last time. The low again of 31, 32 degrees. But then as you table off to midnight, it gets down to 43 and then warms up to 45. Now this morning would cool off to 43 again, but then warm up to 59 degrees. This is insanely hot, and I've seen it get up to 60. So again, I'm a bit skeptical, and we'll have to see how dark sky adapts or what other sources say it did. But the temperatures do crash down to 40 degrees by midnight. Because Sunday, it's weird to believe this, you have 40, 37, 34 at rain, and then it gets to 32 by 5 a.m. You have snow until noon, even though it's above freezing. It's hard to believe, though, how it could get just so cold after it was so warm. Tuesday the 15th, you're going to have a low of 18 degrees Fahrenheit, and the fact that it's going to get this cold, in spite of such a warm weekend, it's going to shoot down the temperature by 40 degrees. That's just kind of insane to me. How, and then again, you're going to have a big storm coming in, so you're going to, again, strong winds, and then the temperature gets down up to 58 again, but then you have the temperature crash down to 26, and it's just like up and down. It's a temperature yo-yo, and it's just really hard to figure out what you're gonna have. And then of course at this point we don't have accurate data anymore, so you just go back to your generic average low of 29, high of 40 according to dark sky.